So then you take that content, and the first place you apply it is on your website. So if you have a look at the screen at the moment, this is an online brand that specializes in a certain market. We did this granular research, and then we took this research and we applied it to the metadata and on the website. So what you're seeing, these line number 2, 3, and 4, is the information that sits behind your website. This is what Google reads about your business. If you're not explaining what your business does to Google, Google won't know to give your website to that target customer. So for this particular brand, we focused on these keywords. So inside the picture on that page, we put those keywords. Google wants to see consistency. It's in the keywords on the picture. It's in the keywords in the title of the page. It's in the keywords of the meta description, but we get more specific. Shop luxury, an anchor for someone wanting to buy their products. Cashmere, talking about what the product is. Mohair, oversized, so this is for people that are oversized. So if someone who was a size 6 came to this website, they would know by reading this not to click through and waste their time. We want specific target customers coming through to our page. The higher conversion rate we get, the less bounce rate that we get with Google, the more Google's going to give people your website over and above other. Parisian, it's a French and Italian brand. I want something from Paris. And we've got the brand name, and then we've got another anchor, free delivery. So this is what Google reads, all of these keywords, but based on brand consistency under this category. Then we take that information and put it on the website. So it now sits at the front. This is what the consumer will read. So there are more anchors inside of here using sumptuous. Nice word to think about, that cashmere jumper. Think about those 6 human needs, and we're applying them to the terminology that we're using that gets somebody to want to buy something online, whether you're a product-driven business or a service. So just from a data perspective, I think it's gone. I'm going to have to come back over here. So from a data-driven perspective, the data that you see on the screen at the moment, you want to have a look at having 4 keywords of the information here, but more importantly, you want 3% of your words, so 3% of your words from here on every single page on your website. So you're being brand specific, focused on keywords and action-orientated words that get people emotionally involved in what it is that you're doing. So that's what I'm saying. If you're going to write a blog and there's 400 words on there, 3% of those words, so you'll have 12 words in that blog. Where do you get those 12 words from? You get them from this document. And it's brand consistent in everything that you do. So then taking that content and applying it online. What Google wants to see, and I'm going to come over here. What Google wants to see with those keywords that you find in business is that you're applying them in different places. So there's your customer. That's what the customer wants to achieve, and then you build out from there. So for the customer, the content, so the content marketing the business, and then the way that you're presenting that content is going to be different. So we put it out over here. Content difference is metadata. When we're looking at how putting it out onto your, onto your website, for instance, it's about the keywords that go on your website. When you put it out to Twitter, you have 140 characters to share that content. You're going to take what's this big and make it that big, but keyword consistency. You're building this big wheel of keywords that define your business around all these different areas. The focus being your customers. So it's got the fresh battery. Thank you very much. Nice. Thank you. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Excellent. 5th time lucky. So does that make sense to everybody? You've got to take a step back, understand your business, understand your customers, and then take that content and put it out online. It's building this link wheel of information is what Google wants to see about us and our business. Having tools to help you achieve that outcome. Now, I might be able to put this in my pocket now. Something that I've got to give away to everybody today, it's a complimentary 7-day e-course. So this is a social media strategy, step-by-step, to help you get a better understanding of how to engage with your customers online. Now, I actually wrote this I wrote it in 2008 and then finished it and published it in 2009. This is something that I wrote, 5 years ago. All I've done is I've gone back in and I've changed the data. So it started off with 500,000 people that are on Facebook. Now there's about 1.2 billion people on Facebook. I just go in and change the data. But I need software to push that information out. So if you want a copy of this, for you to get a copy of this, you have to go to that URL, and I have to get your name and email address. My goal for coming here today is to share with you what it is that I can help you with your business, give you the valuable information, but my high-level goal is about lead generation. I want your email address. I want you to come onto my webinars. I want you to trust me, maybe some of the service that I produce, the products that I sell, or me as an individual. You might get engaged with me to come and work with you. But I have to do that by building trust, and I do that by getting your email address. So this tool here is, you can see here, day 1, day 2, day 3. So on day 4, it's about finding your target audience. This tool that allows me to do this, so I've written something once, and every time somebody signs up to this, the system automatically pushes that information out. I use a free tool to do that. Well, it was free when I started using it because I've got a bigger database now. But it's called MailChimp. Anybody know MailChimp here? Yeah. So MailChimp, not only is it your email marketing tool, it's your autoresponder tool. It allows you to send out content to people on a regular basis once they've engaged with you as a brand. If you've got less than 2,000 email subscribers, it's free of charge. So if you want a copy of this, please come and see me afterwards and I will give it to you. Another tool that I use, which is the tool that Andrew spoke about in his time management webinar, is called Trello. It allows me to work with virtual assistants. So I've got 2 virtual assistants that work for me that don't live in the UK. I pay them $4 an hour. They work for me full time. $4 an hour I have, and they're 20-plus-year-olds that have got degrees in business that I pay $4 an hour for. I get great value from them, and they get great value from me, because the money that I'm paying them is far more that they could earn where they live. So I use a tool like Trello to keep things on track when we have a particular campaign. So this is particular boards. You can see when I'm running seminars, different things that I do from an inspirational perspective, where I've got all of my different domain names. It's a place that allows me to keep track of what I've got going on and build a process in place that people that work for me in my business. When I built my IT company and valued it £1 million, I used this tool with my development team to keep an eye on the iterations of the platform, where we're at from a time-driven perspective. So Trello is a really good tool to use. Another tool that I use that helps me understand hashtags is called tag boards. So I did a talk over in Romania about 3 weeks ago, and I wanted to see how that hashtag was trending and which platforms that hashtag was trending on. So Tagboard allows you to type in a hashtag based in your industry. So for you, it would be app development. Then what it does, it tells you where those people are talking about that particular hashtag. So on the screen at the moment, you can see this hashtag is used in Instagram, Flickr, Twitter are the 3 main areas where it's being used. Facebook as well further down. So if I was to go to Romania and promote my business over Romania, I now know which of the social networks are using this hashtag. Does that make sense? So rather than spending time inside of say Snapchat or a Pinterest, that is not where that target audience hang out. This is where that target audience hang out. That's where I spend my time. The other tool that I use is called Feedly. So if you start following me on Twitter, I send out a minimum of 5 tweets a day. Every single one of those tweets is about value-added content to help you grow your business in my niche market area. So if you want to follow me and you want to help grow your business, then I push that content out. Some of that content I've written from a thought leadership perspective. The other content I get from Feedly. You see, I've got different categories here. If I want to talk about content marketing one day, if I want to talk about social media, strategy, if I want to talk about fashion, time management, whatever that might be, I use Feedly as the tool. I click over here and I search inside Feedly and it brings me websites of content for me to share. I take that website and I put it into a specific category. If I find a website like Social Media Today and I want to see what other people are saying about social media, I click Add Content, drop the URL in, and it saves that information for me. So you can see here, this particular blog that was by Inbound Hub was written an hour ago. This blog by Entrepreneur was 21 hours ago. DigiDay was 1 day ago. Whenever these websites do an update of content, it automatically pushes it through to my Feedly account. So when I want to go and share content across the different social networks, I come here because I've done my research, I get the information, and then I automate it to go out. I automate it across Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Google+, and Facebook. I automate it to go out. I don't spend my time at 3 o'clock in the afternoon knowing when my target audience are online. I automate it to go out. I do my research, and then I automate it. If you want to know how to do that, and the tool that I use is also inside of here. And there's one of the tools that I use to help you with that. Anyone using Hootsuite here? Yep, there's a couple of people. This is the tool that I use to automate across 4 different social networks. This is also the tool that I use to get clarity of how my audience get engaged with me. So when I talk about this being a complimentary 7-day e-course, it didn't start out as that. It was a free 7-day guide. I wrote 3 7-day guides here. I shrinked the link because Hootsuite's got an analytical tool built into it, which is you click on that button there, it gives you how many people clicked on your links. I then schedule it to go out over 5 days of the week, 9 o'clock Monday, 11 o'clock Tuesday, 1 o'clock Wednesday, and so on and so forth. I analyzed how many people clicked on the words free and guide. I changed one word. I changed it to a complimentary 7-day guide. I had some more click-throughs, but I didn't get a better engagement as far as sign-ups were concerned. I changed it to a complimentary 7-day e-course. I had twice as many click-throughs and 3 times many people signing up. So when I want to talk about something of value that's going to give people a step-by-step journey, i.e. a guide that's been designed in a way like an e-course, if somebody gives it to me as a guide, I rewrite it for my audience and I use the word e-course. With my webinars, I used to call them free webinars. They are free, but the word free sometimes doesn't mean value. So I changed that to live webinars. I literally doubled the amount of people that sign up to the webinars by having that simple shift from free to live. So what is it that your target audience are clicking on to get engaged with you as a business? This is LinkedIn that I spoke about from a content distribution perspective. These are all the different articles that I've written on my website, and now I've put them into the LinkedIn environment. So I've written something once, I write it on my website first, I then go and put it into business community, put it in Social Media Today, write on other websites for them, and then take that content and put it into LinkedIn. This particular article has had 5,400 views, 74 people liking it, and 21 people commenting. I wrote this article actually on my website about 9 months ago. So I'm taking the content and I'm republishing it again, but tweaking it according to where the market's at right now, because LinkedIn did not allow you to do this. They bought a little product called Pulse. they opened it up to their LinkedIn audience. Now you can be an article writer inside the LinkedIn by using this pulse functionality. So now my virtual assistant takes my old content and re-puts it into here again. The strategy still works. The process is exactly the same. It's just a new environment. Some of them have got 1,000 views, 24 comments, 2,000 views. So take something once, think about where your target audience is, and add that value in that environment. Another tool that I use is called Triber. This is a great tool if your business, so let's say that we spoke about your apps business, and part of your strategy is you want channel partners. You want to get to companies that are very influential. The CEO of that business, the sales director, the marketing director might think of themselves as influencers and put content out online. This is where they go to put that content out. They want to be seen as the CEO of this company, and they want to communicate with the CEO of another company, but by adding value through content. Triber is a tool that allows you to do that. It's a community of business people that want to share content. So if you want to get to a certain target audience, and you know that audience hangs out in here, write content, be an influencer, and get connected at that high CEO level rather than salesperson level. It reduces the sales cycle when you're communicating with the owner of the business. It builds trust very quickly. So this is a strategy that I use. This is a document that I use for all of my clients. I'm more than happy to share this with you as well. It's a very simple Excel document. As you can see, it's just simply color-coded. But I focus on a 90-day plan. I never go longer than that. Yes, I got investment into my business. Yes, I wrote 3-year financial forecasts. Had to write a business plan for the first round, another one for the second round. You have to, forecast what you want to achieve, but the actions that you take in the business have got to be real time. And I never focus more than 90 days. So with this particular company, this is their marketing action plan. So what are all the marketing actions that we take within the business? We write them down, we color code them up so that everyone in the team can understand what they are. Then we define when they're going to be used. So in May, we're going to do a newsletter talking about drop shipping. We're also going to follow that up in June because actually there was a trade show that she was going to where they're going to be talking about drop shipping. Talking about posting physical material, so that then goes out in June. We're very, very specific and strategic with the actions that we take in the business based on the different marketing outcomes. It gives you clarity in regards to what you're doing, helps you save time, and helps your team, whether they're virtual or physical in your office, to know exactly where the business is going. This is the strategy that I use from a 7-day strategy perspective. So we know what we're doing, we know we want to send information out, but what does that information look like? So this is how we define what it is that we're going to talk about online. So as I said to you before, 5 tweets a day go out, but what content do we want to talk about? So with this business, the first tweet is about the product. The second tweet is the blog of the week. Third tweet is the news about the business. We want to talk about the staff members. We want to talk about winning that award. We want to talk about the competition that we're doing a joint venture with another company that's got our target audience but doesn't compete product for product. So we talk about that in our third tweet, and so on and so forth. We do the same in the other social networks, which we do once a day. We've got to get consistent. The biggest reasons why our online followers leave us is through consistency. And the other one is talking me, me, me. Think about Pareto's law. 80% of the time, talk about added value content. 20% of the time, talk about your business. No, you can wait. You can just wait till I'm finished before you leave. We're not going to listen to her, not today. Hashtags. We define the hashtags for the business. Do you remember tag boards? We know what those hashtags are and where our audience hang out. Define them. This is a box that we put around what we want to talk about in our business. What that then transpires to is this. So then we talk about a product. What does that product look like? you remember we talk about hashtags and keywords? We're talking here about the product being a halter neck bikini, a mastectomy with hashtag mastectomy bikini. Here we've used the word stylish. The word stylish was on that Excel spreadsheet that was earlier, how people wanted to feel when they're wearing this type of product. We take those emotive keywords and we put it into our link wheel of communication. This is the title of the blog that sits on the website. This is the tweet that goes out, building that link wheel of communication based on keywords. Does that make sense? So this is day 1, and then there's 7 days of this. Now, I wrote this for this client, and I did it in 35 minutes. I wrote 7 days worth of content in 35 minutes, then automated it to go out at a specific time, 6, 10, 2, 6, and 10. I automate the content to go out. It takes 1 hour to do 7 days worth of content. But you must have done your research first of all. You've got to know who your target customer is, how you send out that message for your business, and then it can look like this. So this is where she now has a virtual assistant that does this. The VA does 7 days worth of content, sends her the document, she signs it off, and then it all gets automated. It helps you as the business owner save time. So how do you do that in just 30 minutes a day with your social media? The first part is doing that in 1 hour. So think about that 7 days worth of content, get it written and automate it. That takes about an hour to do that. You break that down over the week, you're looking at around about 9 minutes of preparation per day. Then you intermittently go back into those different social networks. So for me, I've got Hootsuite on my phone, and I can look at my Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and LinkedIn account. I can take just a couple of minutes to take a look at who's communicated back with me. I just do that a couple of minutes a day, but in focused time, morning, afternoon, evening. Focus that time. Understand where you're losing your time so you can focus on that time management. Spend some time retweeting. Find those influencers online and talk about them. Just spend a couple of minutes doing that. That helps build your followers. It helps you become that influencer online. Follow some new people. So I gave you a very quick strategy earlier. Go to your competitors. If those competitors have got a Twitter account, just spend a couple of minutes following some of those people. I go a little bit deeper with that and actually get engaged with those people from an added value perspective. And that's the reason why I follow them, because I push content then out to them that adds value to them, brings them to me. And then analyzing that information. So I think, yeah. So I've got a social media dashboard that I like to give to everybody today to help you analyze that data. If you have a look over here, you'll be able to see that if I was to go and spend my time inside of Google Plus and Facebook, that is not where it's converting best for me. Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest are my best drivers of traffic. That is where I spend my time. I don't spend my time in Facebook or I don't even know what blogger's on there, to be honest. But someone probably wrote some content. But this is where I spend my time. So now I can understand my time management, where I push my content out to get the best return on my investment, being time. Understanding Google and how they've changed their algorithm is something that only really came about a year ago. Tim Berners-Lee, who founded the World Wide Web, spoke about a semantic web, spoken about consumers getting connected with brands, but at a consumer-to-consumer level. Google had not built an algorithm to manage that outcome. They changed it with a Hummingbird update in November. They've now done 2 Panda updates, Panda 4.0 and now 4.1. What that means to you as a business is this. If you are not communicating in that social space, and these are measured rankings that Google gives your business, if you think by just putting content on your website is going to get you to the front page of Google, that is what Google thinks about that. Gives you a 0.11 of a ranking. If you're sharing your content out on Google+, because it owns Google+, it's 4 times more influential from a ranking perspective than what putting copy on your website is. Now, don't get me wrong, I talk about copy and being consistent with that and having that link wheel. That link wheel builds all of this. What is the, where are we here? So what is the, so keyword in the link? Do you remember I talk about the links, the words that you put inside of the title of the blog? That's important as the copy on the website, but you need to link all of this information together to get all of those bonus points, if you like, how Google's defining it.